Hello, guys, and welcome to day 12 of our Trixmas countdown. I'm Yo Armandaris. Let me just check really quick to make sure I am streaming live in the correct group. Let's see. Yes, I am. Great. Well, welcome to day 12. This is the final day of the Trixmas countdown. And if you have been watching and following, or maybe watching the recording, there has been 12 tricks, one trick every single day. So today's trick is called turn off or on the light switch. So it's got to do with using a light switch. So I'm going to go over all the details of what you need, how to make this trick as easy as possible, and to any troubleshooting things that I've experienced with my training. So again, Yo Armandaris, I'm the owner of Canine Learning Academy, and let's go ahead and get started. So AKC and Do More With Your Dog considers this an advanced trick. This is the trick where your goal is that your dog on cue, you're able to send them over to a light switch and they turn off or on the light. Pretty simple, right? So suitable for dogs of all ages. They should know how to do already a paw target to your hand or object, at least, to do this trick. So a couple things. I purchased a flat. So in my house, I've got a 4 light switch. Most of mine are 2 or 4. I've got some individual singles. So I took a specific type of light switch. These are the flat light switches that I have in my home. If you've got the other kind, you can also purchase something like that to do the training. And I'll talk a little bit about the difference. So the flat one looks like this. I purchased this at Home Depot. I put a little cover on it, box on it, and this is how I do the training. I do it with this object gradually, and I'm going to show you how. And then eventually I have it transferred over to what this is on the wall. Okay. So this is just a little box. I think it was $3 or less. And I made this box for the training. It's totally empty, light, and it's part of our toolkit. It's one of the things that I put in their training bags so that I can continue working this with other dogs. Another thing that you could use is some tape. So this is painter's tape so that I can transfer it over to another object. You can also use a sticky note if you prefer. Some people might want to start off with just having your dog tap a bell or light like this. You've seen this done, right? If you've seen this trick before, this one's a tad bit easier because they're not having to climb up a wall or something like that. So you could start off with just having them tap this light. Lights like this or buttons like this are very much associated to the lamps that you see that are coming from the floor. Also, I've seen a lot of Christmas lights that are attached to a button like this. So as long as your dog doesn't have access to it when you're not home, you could teach them to also tap a light like this if this turns on and off your lights. Another thing that you might want to get is if you have the light switches that are, I don't even know what they're called, but you push them up or down and they have like a little stick on the end of them. Those ones are a little more challenging. Some people prefer to use the nose. If you've got a bigger dog, smaller dogs, I like to use the paw. You can find something that you can attach to the end of that light switch that might be easier for them to put their paw or nose on. So I have these little clips that I use. You can put tape on the very end of it so it's a little softer, some duct tape if you'd like to make it a lot soft. I've also used the end of a pen that has like a rubber end of the pen, and I attach that to the light switch to give the dog a much easier and longer target to touch. So I'm going to show paw target to turn on and off the lights. I'm going to start off with just paw target. I'm going to do probably 3 demonstrations. I'm going to first start off with the regular paw target. I'm going to quickly transfer it over to a piece of tape. From the tape, I'm going to go to the actual object. From the object, I'm going to start to make this look like what it would look like if it was on a wall. So I might present it like this at first, but I'm going to gradually move this so that it's looking just like that. And I'll present it this way versus like how we normally do when we're presenting paw target to here. All right. Now, the difference between teaching go press a bell and stuff like that is usually the bell or light is on the floor. Now, this is going to be on a wall, right? So we need to transfer. We need to be able to put this on cue here in your hand first and then transfer it over to a wall. Now, if you've got a small dog like I do, you'll see in just a minute, Bandit is up on top of the ottoman. You can use a ramp, you can use a step. He's up on top in order for him to have access to the light switch. Now, this is not my house. This is a rental, but in our own home, we could ask the electrician to put a switch like this lower so that your dog could actually help you turn off and on the lights. So for our service dog, our students, our clients that are requiring some assistance from their dogs, these are some of the things that we might do is we'll have an electrician bring these switches down a little bit lower so the dog can reach it and you're not having to rearrange your house. All right. So here's the light switch we're going to be using today, and it's going to be transferred over to the wall. I like to combine some things. So sometimes if the dog already has paw target on cue, I might start off with that paw target on cue. I'll say it. I'll have them keep, rewarding and all that stuff. And then I'll transfer it over to a new cue. That's one option. The other option is just to shape it where you just see what your dog offers and then goes from there. So I've got 3 dogs here. I'm going to do a round, then I'll come back and talk a little bit about it. My first round is basically just getting paw target. I don't care which paw that they use, whichever they prefer. Paw target to hand. And then I'm going to go paw target to tape. And then I'm going to take a little break. And then I'll go paw target to the object. So you'll see me move this. And then we'll start to put that together to the wall. All right. So my first round, I think I'll do with Romeo. Come on, Romeo. Romeo, up. Good. Gonna use a clicker. Here, get up here. Get up here. Good. Okay, okay, come on, Bentley. Okay, get. Bentley, your turn. Come on. So I'm going to go right into the second round. So that was duct tape to hand. Now I'm going to take this tape. I'm going to move with Bentley and I'm going to put it on the object. Okay, let's go, Bentley. Your turn. Here, Romeo. Up here. Bentley, up here. Come on. Up, up. Good. There's your grip. Really down your bed. Good. Okay, all done. Okay, so that was 2 mini sessions, both with different dogs. So Romeo's never done this before. Bentley's really never done the light switch like this, but he has done this object. So we've got, if you notice, I went all the way to right here, right? This is what it looked like by the end. I'm holding it here, and then I eventually present it here, and the duct tape is going to represent where I want them to actually touch. So I'll ask for a little more precision as we go. So now my next step, third step is, thanks Stephanie, is to move this closer to the wall. Eventually I'm just going to hold it on the wall, and then we're going to transfer this over to the other object that's here. Now, if you have 4 switches like I do, I keep a little tiny piece of tape several times to notify the dog, this is the one I want you to touch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Bentley and Romeo off the ottoman. I'm going to move it closer to the wall, and I'm going to take this same thing, but I'm going to move it closer to the wall with Bandit. Okay, Bentley, off. Okay, good. Go in your room. Sit down. Come here, sit down. Okay, Bandit, your turn. Up, up. Bandit, up. Come on. Good. Oh, no. Over here. Go in. Go in. There you go. Paw. Yes. Paw. Yes. Paw. Yes. Very good. So it's hard to see, but I am getting closer and closer to the wall. Paw. Paw. Yes. Paw. Bandit, paw. Yes. Good. Good boy. Okay. Throughout several repetitions, you would basically move this closer to the wall, and you would do some reps with your hand holding it against the wall. So I'm going to fast forward, and I'm going to go over to the actual light switch, which is up here in this corner. All right. So I need to move the ottoman right under it. And I'm going to point to this tape that's on there. All right, so I'm going to progress to the very last step before we put it on a cue. All right, Bandit, ready? Ready? Yes. Papa. Yes. 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 Very good. Yes. Good. Light. Let's go. Romeo, off. Light. Come on. Yes. Very good. Light. Light. Something. Bandit. Light. Yes. Very good. Light. Yes. Okay. Puff. Okay, Bandit. Light. Yes. Very good. Good boy. Are ready? And Bandit. Light. Bandit. Come on. Come on. Bandit. Light. Get it. This one. This one. This one right here. Yes. Okay. So those are all the steps kind of put together all in one. So I would say it's a series of about 5 different steps. You might want to write this down. Step 1, paw target to hand. Step 2, paw target to tapes. Paw target. Step 3, to the object, the light switch, turning it all the way to what it's going to look like. 4 is bringing that switch closer to the wall. 5, you're going to combine their ability to be at that height. So for Bandit, that's called a wall stand. So it's basically it's paws up, but it's a little bit higher. It's called a wall stand, I think, in the tricks thing, combined with being able to hit this specific target. Once you've got all 5 of those steps, you can then put it on a new cue. Common cue for this is lights on, lights off. While the dog is doing it, you're going to say that cue, right? Lights on, lights off, whatever you want to say. Gradually, you're going to say the cue before they do it. And then eventually, you're going to create that pattern of when you say that cue, they come over to that area and they hit that specific light switch. So for Bandit, he needs to, wherever he is in the room, if he hears that cue, he needs to come down the hall and get up onto the ottoman, put his paws up on the wall, and then hit that switch. It's a lot of steps, right? So the repetitions are short. Keep the sessions really fun, and gradually take that all the way through, and then they'll understand the pattern that you want. And you can say that cue and your dog will come running to turn on and off the lights, especially if you think it's fun, especially if you kind of go a little overboard with the praise and, oh my gosh, you did it, and all of that kind of stuff. If you have fun, your dog's going to have fun. So this is the advanced trick called lights turn off or on your light switch. So it's got to do with the light switch. And the criteria to that is that your dog will do that on cue. If you don't have these kind of light switches, you have the pointing kind. What I said at the beginning is you can attach something to it and then teach your dog the paw target. Same thing. So if I attach this to the, the switches that go off and on, it's easier for the dog to turn it off, to put their paw on it versus up. Right? So I used this or the end of a pen, put some tape on it to make it a little bit more soft. You would then put the duct tape onto something like this, right? So if this was attached to the light switch, this would be the end. You would put your duct tape there and you'd get them to target this, right? And then you would take this switch and you'd put it onto your switch. And again, tape it in place. So it can be done with other switches. I have practiced it at a couple clients' house that had the other kind of switches, but usually I just have them, if they really want this to be something that their dog does frequently, I typically ask them to get something more of a flat. I'll also change the colors of the one that does target the light that they want to use. I usually, to make it easier, if you really want this to be done in your house, just have one light switch, not 4, because then they can't have to find it. One light switch that does the stuff. And there's lots of, gosh, nowadays, all you can say is, hey, Siri, turn on the lights, and it works that way. But if you want your dog to help you, this is a really fun, amazing trick. They feel like they're, really helping you get through the house and stuff like that. So I really had I had a fun putting all these tricks in here. Hopefully you guys have a great time taking a look at them when you have some time off. I know some of you are still working all the way till today, like me, but perhaps next week you take a look at those videos. I will be popping in next week. I'm going to take the rest of the week off, but I will be popping in to take a look at your videos and to share a couple things that I'm working on behind the scenes. And tomorrow I've got one more trick for you that I'll just pop into the group at any time, not at a specific time. And most likely it won't be live, so that I can enjoy Christmas Day with my family. All right, guys, happy holidays. And thank you again for attending. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to your family. And give those pups something extra special this holiday. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Christmas Eve. Take care.